So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
4 more kilometers. Oh, there we go! They cut!
This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride.
Frankie! Down to the inside of Hoosie's off!
Passenger throws the block, and he will keep him behind him.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up. I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
So, you want to race in NASCAR. The road starts here. Introducing the eNASCAR Ignite Series powered by iRacing. This is the gateway for all aspiring 13 to 16-year-olds. Starting June 20th, ignite your dreams of one day racing in the top tiers of NASCAR. Go to www.iracing.com/ignite for full details.
Monday night, it's 8 o'clock in the evening. I was going to say 9 o'clock, actually it is 9 o'clock, I'm wrong again, which is a great start to the show, but welcome to round number 3 of Monday Night Skippys here on RaceSpotTV. Rich Wife and Linus Brostom and Connery Maddock is back from his extended vacation. We're back live here and we are at the world famous, the historical Nurburgring. This track, Connery, it certainly is one of the most exciting to watch racing on. The racing and the qualification times can be absolutely massive. This track is one of the most unique.
Yeah, it definitely is. Total length 22.81 kilometers, turns 154 listed on the iRacing spec sheet. And wow, you noticed the qualifying times. You mentioned the qualifying times there, Rachel. P1, P2, even though we're looking about sub 8-minute lap times, Bill Fraser, Simon Edwards, both did a 7:56.707. Wow.
That is absolutely incredible. I know we normally talk about our 1 second bracket in this race. Well, that 1 second bracket is basically first to second. If we count Fraser and Edwards as basically tied on first, Tom Ward in third place is a second back. That is our difference here today in terms of how this thing will go. And I have apparently got a huge helm which I'm about to fix. Connery.
Yeah, we'll get that one fixed, as we do have a little bit of an extended qualifying here. You guys have been out there qualifying for about an hour and 50 minutes at this point. Just gives people quite a bit of time to be able to get a clean lap in, because on the iRacing service, if you step 1 foot out of line in terms of the track limit, that is pretty much your lap done. And considering it's an 8-minute lap time around here, they just basically converted the practice session that we have before the race usually into the entire qualifying. But there are a couple of drivers still out there on the racing circuit right now. We have got the pole position sitter, your provisional pole position sitter right now, or at least tie pole position sitter, Simon Edwards. Is just heading his way up through the last stages of the lap here, coming towards one of the very, very tricky technical sections right now. The number 20 car was competing for the championship last time out, but narrowly missed that one out to Bill Fraser. So he'll be looking for his first championship win this season there, Linus. Let's just hope for his sake that he'll get it.
Yeah, he was really close last year, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. And Bill Fraser is looking steady again this year, and there's quite a few faces up there in the battle, so they've all got their work cut out for him, but in the end it's going to be all about who can be the most consistent and just be here every single week. That's most it's going to take.
Certainly is, and we'll have a quick look, Connery, at the points so far in the championship for these guys. We're only 3 rounds in at the moment, but it's going to be an interesting point for these gentlemen to start competing early. And with the standard of qualifying and racing we've had, well, every round, as you say, matters. For Fahim and 2 races so far, 2 victories so far this season. Maximum points for Fahim, he's on 80. Ben Daniels in 2nd place on 62, with Anthony Catt back in the 3rd place, he's on 46. Matt Cox, Clark Williams in P5. It's Adrian Hendy, who's not really featured in the top 10 much, but consistency has given him points. Stuart Adcock, Simon Edwards, Jack Hobbs and Neil Dawkins back in 10th place. That shows our real points standing as it goes for the moment, but with Tom Ward returning, Adcock returning after missing a round, this could really make an impact.
Could make a huge impact. Simon Edwards coming towards the end of the lap now. Just the final couple of corners to go. We'll see if this one is a timed lap, which I believe it is, considering his stint length. Coming through the final corner now. Does Simon Edwards break the deadlock at the front of the field? Comes across the line. And the answer is going to be actually no. He was about a second off there on that lap. So no improvement from Simon Edwards. Bill Fraser is still counted as your pole sitter right now. Of course, the iRacing system does time things to a more accurate representation than what we get on the overlays. So that is just the way of things right now. A driver called Barry West here, number 42 car, coming through the final corner. He's currently not set a lap time, so it's really important that this lap is clean for Barry West. It is clean. It's an 8:10.4 though, only good enough for 28.
It will be not great for him there. We have got quite a lot of lag time now between how long after the qualifying ends and the race starts. With this being the Nurburgring, the cooldown lap is a little bit longer than normal, Linus, although we do know that once all drivers have returned to their pit boxes, this can shuffle forwards earlier, so time is somewhat variable. We have about 4 minutes, it's saying, remaining at the moment. That may change.
It very well could, as I think the last car out on track here is Ian Bassi, who's coming across the line, and he went off because he didn't improve his time, so he's going to end up with a 8:31.7. That's quite slow, but at least he got a lap time. And looking back towards the championship, as you said, Fahim Antonidis, he's got 2 wins this season out of 2 races. Today he's starting all the way down in P number 16, so he's really got his work cut out for him if he's going to make it 3 out of 3 for this one.
Certainly is, and we'll look at those in a moment as we look at our top 10 in qualifying. Well, in fact, we'll go through those qualifying results. I believe everybody in that group has finished their times with their laps in place. Bill Fraser and Simon Edwards split by numbers that are not even quantifiable to iRacing. First and second place there, Fraser and Edwards, with a 7-minute 56.707 for both of them. Tom Ward in third place, 57.953, almost a second back. Jack Hobbs with Seymour Harding in 5th place, James McRitchie, S.J. Dunning, Matt Cox, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts in 9th, with Adrian Hendy in 10th. So he's building off what he's had so far in terms of his points haul. If he can hold himself there, that would be great. Darryl Taylor, Paul Grillo back in 12th place, Stuart Dick, Ewan Patterson, Anthony Jones in the 15th spot. For him and Tonides, well, he's going to have a long way to try and get forwards if he wants to have a chance at winning this thing, of course. After the last 2 victories, Ryan Hewitt in 17th, Neil Dawkins, Tony Stack, and Simon Maltby in 20th place. This should certainly make things very interesting for us tonight, Linus. A lot of people out of position, but this track is polarising for drivers.
It's very easy to make a mistake, and most places on this track you don't have a lot of runoff either, so if you go off track you're bound to hit the barrier and bounce straight back onto the track, which could cause some massive chaos, but let's just hope we don't see too much of that today. And it's going to be interesting to see what Fahim can do from that deep in the pack and how quick he can get up into the likes of the top 10, the top 5, and how much carnage he'll have to get through to get up there.
It certainly will, and we'll have to find out exactly what they can achieve for this one, as time does tick down for us, of course. And Bill Fraser looking strong as he has in the past. This so far has been a good run for him. He's had some good results, but he's not won yet. Something he needs to put behind him this season to cement the fact he is, Connery, fighting back here for a 3rd championship chance. It's close, but it's right now no cigar. In terms of points, poor old Bill has not really been doing too great in that regard. He is actually quite far down, 20th place. 2 races counted so far. He's been in both. He's just had very bad results. Total of 22 points for him. That is not looking ideal.
Yeah, on only one top 10 finish in those 2 races, so he really needs to pull something out of the bag here at least to try and make that not seem as bad as it is right now, trying to defend his championship. But we got about 20 seconds to go here. Currently, well, it's going to be SJ Dunning that I'm looking at right now. He's playing a very good qualifying time and isn't a name that I see around Monday Night Skippys too often, so P number 7 start for him is very, very good. We also got Adrian Hendy as well in P number 10, so that's sort of margin to get inside the top 10 here. Could potentially be close considering the standard of the drivers behind. You have the likes of Darrell Taylor, Paul Grillo, Stuart Dick in there as well, so that one's going to be pretty spicy.
Certainly could be, and we'll have to keep our eyes on how that one does play out, of course. It's always good to see Grillo back. Not running too many rounds so far, but he is back here, and that could make things very interesting for him, but it's going to be very, very exciting. It always is at Nurburgring. 3 laps today, as always. It's a very long track, so this takes our usual race time. And weather? Oh, it's 66 Fahrenheit at the moment, which is about 15 Celsius or so. The track temperature we don't really know, because it varies so much. It is so big. There can be different weather in one part of the track to another and to another. You can have 3 weather systems over this circuit. It's so big. And, of course, winds are southwest, about 16 miles an hour, so very windy in the valleys here in Germany. Humidity's high, about 77%. And pressure is about average. But the track, of course, 14.5 miles in length. That's so much room for different weather. Cars are taken to the grid. We're going to get ready to kick this thing off tonight. Monday Night Skippys, round number 3. Ready to start in just a moment's time. All the cars are on the grid, so we should be going in just under a minute in Connery. Fraser, Edwards, Ward, who's this on?
I think Bill Fraser's in a very, very good position here, but all that chopping and changing coming down the very, very long back straight can really change everything, especially if it's a big pack of cars. It can be a bit of carnage going 3 and 4 wide, but we'll see coming towards the end of this first lap.
We certainly will. The last few moments are ready to kick off here, and we're going to be going green once again. For Monday Night Skippys, we'll get this thing underway and show you guys some of the best racing these UK&I drivers can achieve. The engines will rev for the green light here. Green flag flies, and we're underway. Fraser with a good start. Not so good for Sam Edwards. Tom Ward right on his backside right before the first corner as they all filter through turn 1. Not a place you want to have an incident at, of course. It's a very long way to get your car back if you're planning to drive it. After incident, of course, we have got 43 drivers in the race tonight, 42 actually on track. And everyone's made it through the first corner, no major problems. Everyone's single filing out very quickly here, Linus, as we get this thing going. Tight and twisty first section here of the lap at the Nurburgring Nordschleife. Of course, this isn't the full circuit, including the GP track. This is just the famed Nordschleife.
Yeah, well, it's long enough without the GP track, but like you said, a very clean start. Seymour Harding got a bit sideways in one of the turns there, but didn't lose anything, so at the moment I don't see any side-by-side racing actually, and Bill Fraser, comfortable start, and Edwards behind him and Tom Ward behind him. It's looking like the top 3 is pulling a little bit of a gap, but let's see what they can do.
Big crash we've had at the racetrack, actually. Connery, we've got some big trouble here for these guys. Not what they'd want to have happen, actually, at this point.
There are many cars that are slow, and that's just a huge instant right there involving multiple drivers. Andrew Bolton involved in that. We've got Barry West that had to take avoiding action. Ben Daniels went for a ride as well in that Union Jack car. Christopher Keeble got part of that as well, but that was a huge amount of gridlock coming in through the back of the field. Yeah,
we can show you that now, Connery, because Ben Daniels was right in the heart of this one when it happened. In fact, it was the car just ahead of him there on the racetrack that caused this one. I believe that was Christopher Keeble. It was going into the back there of the 67 machine. Oh, big trouble for them. That was Christopher Grant who went into the back of there. Oh, and that just once again, the whole thing started in a curb clip there for Daniels. You saw in the video there, flipping over and over into a bottleneck on the racetrack, which just caused us major problems. Up at the sharp end, though, things are already getting spicy, Linus. Ward's up to second place. Edwards is up to first, and Bill Fraser all the way back to third.
Yeah, he's made a little bit of a mistake somewhere, I would think. I'm trying to locate what happened, but they just... Edwards got up next to him, and then he made a mistake, tried to get back on him, hit him in the rear, and just lost momentum. So that's just hard racing going on right here. And as it looked before, they've started to pull away, so if they can just not battle too much here, I think on the straightaway, they'll just disappear from the rest of the pack. And well, Jack Hobbs will be doing everything he can. Actually, he's in 5th, so that'll be... No, that's Jack Hobbs in 4th. He'll be doing everything he can to catch back up to these front guys and bring the rest of the field with him.
Certainly is. He's got Seymour Harding behind him there in the 5th place right now. McRitchie, Dunning, Cox just behind that group here as Ward looking to try and find himself into the front spot here at the Nurburgring. Coming down to that midpoint, the bridge here at the bottom of the valley. And it's Simon Edwards leading the way at the moment through that corner. Across the road bridge. Lovely little restaurant actually down there on the right hand side. Well worth visiting you over at the circuit, of course, as Edwards makes his way back up the start of the climb now, climbing back up towards the long front straight here at the Nurburgring. And of course the important thing there, Connery, to remember, this front straight makes and breaks races because you cannot just draft past a car. They can then draft back past you, it's so long.
Yeah, exactly. There are actually 2 points where you can do that on the racing circuit. They're coming up to one of them now, which is a very, very long, sort of flat-out section where Tom Ward can potentially tuck into the slipstream here of Simon Edwards, but he's actually going to stay on driver's right-hand side for now. Let's see what Bill Fraser does in this sort of situation. He's going to get the toe. He's going to get the double toe. He's going to try to go for P number 2. Skips over the curb a little bit. Here comes Tom Ward. Tom Ward now looking for P number 1. Side by side for the race lead then between Edwards and Tom Ward. Tom Ward around the outside. He'll get that position. Simon Edwards will now come under threat from Bill Fraser on this still 100% throttle section. Maybe you'll lift a little bit coming through these left-handers here, but then you're straight back on the 100% throttle before the braking zone, which is very, very soon. Let's see if there's any out-braking moves that can be done. Only one corner to go now until that happens, and Simon Edwards will stay in line, and Bill Fraser still at the back of this queue. They've broken away from the rest.
Yeah, they certainly have. They've got a good 3-4 second gap now on the racetrack, and coming up to the carousel here, one of the best parts of this track, one of the most recognizable components on this circuit here in Germany. It's like Tom Ward right out front here of Simon Edwards. Bill Fraser 3rd place. Let's not forget, Bill could find his way right to the front here, Linus, as we mentioned on the front stretch, but Tom Ward kind of reasserting that dominance of making the pass early, getting himself into a leading position, but he has to realize just the futility of leading onto that straight.
Yeah, I think he's done enough races here to know what he's doing, but up until the last lap, it doesn't really matter where you're at. You're not going to be in the same position at the end of the straightaway, so I think they will all try to be in every position they can throughout these first 2 laps and see which position will be the best one to be in coming to the last lap. And Edwards, go on.
Oh,
big
huge
problems there.
Yeah, huge moment there for Simon Edwards. Fantastic car control to keep that one going. I believe we'll just try to get a replay of that one, actually, because that was an absolutely impressive save. So replay on screen for you right now once that one will tick over. Huge slides, just a huge tank slapping from Simon Edwards. Has to take to the grass a little bit off of the curb, but he's lucky to be still in this race.
Oh, very much so. That was one of the old 2-foot magic hacks, I think, from Simon Edwards there to lock that thing up and keep it in one piece, but he held on beautifully. Keeps himself still competitive here, of course, Linus. He's right behind Bill Fraser, about 2-3 car lengths back. Fraser got about 5 car lengths to Tom Ward. Ward might be on the edge of breaking that draft gap. I mean, right now we could see Edwards and Fraser close up and then push forwards towards him, but the gap is kind of eating up. It might be that it takes them so long to catch him on the front stretch that they only get one chance to pass and they just go straight past him and stay there, which is something to consider, of course. Not taking the pass super early, as they'll come now up to the second carousel at the Nurburgring, up to the highest point of the circuit, looking out over the beautiful valleys of Germany. Led in by Tom Ward. Looking back, we've got a good race going on with McRitchie back here in the 6th place, right behind Harding and Hobbs, followed by Dunning. That group fighting hard for the bottom to mid part of your top 10 race at the moment. Vaughan Roberts and Maltby. I think that's Maltby we actually got racing there. It is. Simon Maltby in the number 18 machines fought his way up from 20th place in qualifying. He's now looking towards the top 10 actually here. They've got Hendy behind them, but he's fighting at the moment. That's Ron Roberts right behind them. Cox is
That's actually
up.
Ron Roberts that dropped down to 20th, so
it is big
they're
change
battling for 17th, 18th position down here.
That would explain it. Numbers haven't really updated for us whilst it's such a long run as we look towards our leaders and what they're doing. And like we said, the gap to Ward was so big, Connery, that it's meant that they aren't going to catch him in time for 2 passes. But Fraser might be there to make chances for 1 happen.
Yeah, here comes the chance for the race leaders. They go 3 wide behind. They might even go 4 wide behind, as is the case on the run down towards these final couple of corners. They'll have to end up going 2 by 2 and then 2 by 1. There's all contact between McRitchie and Harding there, but McRitchie will manage to get away with the position there, and maybe there's a little bit of suspension or wheel damage to either of these 2 drivers. We'll just have to see, but that was so close.
It really was close. Back for the behind your top 3 group there. Ward at the front managed to hold on though. They didn't get past him. Fraser goes wide, gets some grass on that very first section onto lap number 2 here. Still the same running order. Tom Ward, Bill Fraser, Simon Edwards behind them. Ritchie, Hardings, Hobbs, Dunning, Cox in this group. Stuart Dick just behind them now with Adrian Hendy, Darrell Taylor, Anthony Jones, and behind them even further back 10 seconds from your leaders, Antonides into 13th place. Not the sort of advantage you would have wanted. He wanted to be up towards the front and just hasn't had it go right from today. His qualifying though was 8 minutes 03. That's a full on 6 seconds back from your leaders. That's the difference we're looking at here.
Yeah, he's been struggling all day long and he's not really been able to get a perfect lap together. I don't know if it's the setup or if he's just not feeling well, but he's usually a lot higher up than this, and you can see him right now struggling to hold Ian Patterson off in 14th, so he might drop even further back here, and this is not what he was expecting and what we were expecting from him either. And at this point he's struggling to get even into the top 10, which is a big surprise as they go side by side for the lead.
Yeah, they certainly do, and looking right at the sharp end, it's Fraser and Ward. Fraser had the inside line. Good run from him there as he gets himself in position for the corner. Run it through. Edwards right up on the back there of Tom Ward. Keeps himself moving now. Fraser ran a little wide yet again. Fraser using every inch of the track and some that don't quite exist as Tom Ward gets an inch to the inside, gets an overlap. But Fraser might hold on to this. There's still another left-hander or 2 for them to come. Fraser could hold on to this if Tom Ward stays on the outside though. Another left-hander. Tom Ward going round the outside, has the inside line. Can Fraser carry the speed? He does have the advantage now coming into this chicane section. Fraser resecures that lead now from Tom Ward after a valiant attempt by Tom Ward there, carrying massive speed on the outside. Behind them, still McRitchie, Harding, Hobbs, Dunning and Cox in that group. Pushing hard. In fact, looking back, we've actually got there McRitchie. He's the car now back in 3rd from when he crossed the line. Ahead of him, he's now got Harding, Hobbs and Dunning. They've all taken advantage of the very variable nature of this track. You've got those sweeping fast corners, of course, Linus. You've got the tight, twisty corners and big straights. This track has bits that suit different drivers.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of everything, and it's really hard to get a full lap together. One, because it's so long, but then also because it's got all different kinds of corners, and pretty much every driver will find a section that suits them here, but over the distance of a race, it kind of equals out. So, oh, we got a car going off as well. That's 4th place. Seymour Harding is in the fence, and he looks to be pretty much out of it.
Oh, he's very damaged. We'll try and get a replay of what happened to Harding there as just ran wide. Like Edwards, got some grass. Unfortunately, the distance between the grass and the Armco wasn't big enough there, and if that was a private racing day at Nurburgring, he'd be paying for the Armco repairs there, which is something you have to do if you crash, of course. He's now out of that race. He's had to tow that car back. As Tom Ward now back at the lead, makes a move on Bill Fraser, running down towards the very bottom of the valley here. Ward to the inside will have the advantage for the right-hander. Of course, just past the section where Lauda had his terrible crash here at the Nurburgring. Tom Ward will take the advantage once I can see past these trees. Still not clear though. Fraser to the inside, defending valiantly. And with the cars being this close together, Connery, this means that on the front stretch this time we'll definitely have passing, unlike last lap. As Edwards comes for a move. Edwards looking to parallel there with Tom Ward, but neither of them quite has the way past on the grass. Oh my gosh, that has to be a cut corner there from Tom Ward. I'm almost surprised that wasn't. That was a corner where he was 4 wheels off, but secures the lead from Fraser there as Ward now bottling them up, defending hard.
And like
they
learned that there was actually a pass in the grass.
Oh, that was a full-on pass in the grass. In fact, I'm trying to look at Tom Ward's car now to see if he has a spinning blade underneath it, because he was a lawnmower there.
Yeah, I think Tom Ward was actually going to go for a gap that wasn't really there, as we see a replay of that little altercation when Tom Ward ran onto the grass. But they're still battling out there on circuit. At least Bill Fraser and Simon Edwards are. But Simon Edwards is going to have to back out of this one before the braking zone for the carousel, the ever-famous corner on camber there on the inside line. They'll have to file their way through and hop out over the top. But now, this is going to be an interesting dynamic now, because these cars are so close. We could see a lot more trace for positions coming down the back straight, the Dottingham, and it's a headwind actually coming down through there at 26 kilometers an hour. So that's also a factor they have to be considering now for your drivers. As Tom Ward's getting a little bit of the drift on there, coming through the latter quarter of this racetrack. Fraser's looking towards the outside though, but not able to capitalize on that little mistake there for Tom Ward. As I've noticed that a lot of drivers are actually getting the back ends out here. It doesn't seem to be that hot out there on circuit. That slick is only 34 degrees track temp, and well, we saw in Austria in the real life Formula 1 race that was at 45 and they were struggling with the tires. But these are road tires on these Skippys. They won't worry about tire wear, but they will worry about how slick the track is.
Well, it's not
Also
P5. Hobbs is off the track there. We've had some issues from him. He's got it back though. He has lost track position. Back end stepped out, got it on the grass, but saved it with a massive recovery, making Edwards earlier on look a little bit like child play there. Loses only one spot, which is tantamount to the gaps here at the Nurburgring, of course, but back towards your leaders at the moment. So I was going to say that the Red Bull Ring in Austria, of course, very new tarmac, very slippery and clean, so it's definitely a track where you would have less grip in the heat, whereas this track is so gnarled and old and bumpy that it's a whole different track, even for Formula 1 tyres, I'd say. This place affords a lot of grip to these drivers, and, well, they're utilising it to the best of their ability right now.
They are, but the battle at the front, still that trio of Ward, Fraser and Edwards, and I think this will stay the same for the time being as Bill Fraser decides to try to prove that me wrong there as they're coming up to the Kleiner Carousel, the carousel's little brother, and they get through there just fine. But just flicking back through the field now, we still have this second pack though of James McRitchie, Matt Cox and Jack Hobbs as they head their way through the Kleiner Carousel. Jack Hobbs, very good run out of that corner, in fact, could challenge potentially coming up to the the final couple of corners before the straight, but Matt Cox managing to keep himself ahead as now your leaders do hit that long back straight.
Yeah, they have indeed, and here we go for the opportunity. Bill Fraser gonna go for it early. Simon Edwards closing in, which could definitely change the dynamic here with Tom Ward and whether he'll get a second chance at passing. Edwards coming up with a big closing distance. Will go 3 wide most likely. No. Is he going to put it in the middle? No, he hangs back knowing there's an opportunity for another pass.
Bill Fraser moving up that early though, that surprises me, because that makes him lose all the draft, and it doesn't seem like anyone wants to pass anyone here.
Well, no, Linus, the thing is, he's not passing on purpose. He's measuring his throttle to stay on the inside of Ward there, rather than pass him and let Ward then get the toe past him. He's keeping himself in a position alongside Ward where he now has the inside line to the corner, and Ward has to concede the line. That's an incredibly intelligent move by Fraser, but he's lost it in the final S's. Couldn't quite hold on to that move. Looked experimental, Connery, but that was actually pretty clever.
Yep, you might as well try it. Try and see if you could potentially do something like that coming onto the final lap of the race, which we're on right now. So white flag out there on the racing circuit, and well, we'll be waiting for quite a while, about 8 minutes. But in terms of the rest of your race right now, looking even further back, giving some love to our mid-pack and bottom of the pack runners, we have a current battle going on between Ryan the Torpedo Hewitt and Anthony Catt there as they head their way across the line. Battle for P number 12 out there on the racing circuit. We've also got battles for P14 as well between Neil Dawkins and Vaughan Roberts. Vaughan Roberts is the driver defending in this one.
Certainly is. Vaughan Roberts there trying to do what he can at the moment, but he's likely going to get past, because behind him at the moment Dawkins looking like he has a little bit more speed. But further forwards, Adrian Hendy running at the back here of this pack with himself, Dick and Jones. Hobbs at the moment is running in the rear of the group with Cox and McRitchie. McRitchie in the 5th spot. Cox in 4th place at the moment. Edwards and Fraser and Ward. Well, it's once again Fraser and Ward side by side here on the run up towards Flugplatz, and Tom Ward has the advantage. Fraser's had to back off again, but young Fraser is pushing super hard yet again, Connery. He's just doing everything he can to upset Ward mostly. He's trying to get his balance off.
Oh, Tom Ward got a huge slide coming up towards this corner, which is Arenberg gets the back end out, coming through the middle of the corner again. So Ward struggling with the rear end traction there. Simon Edwards just sitting behind these two, just letting them fight, and maybe can take his opportunity a little bit later on in the lap if they come together or if they're battling a little bit too hard. But on the run up towards this fast left-hand and then fast right, slowing the car down all the time for the S's section at the top of this hill. As they're so close to making contact there with your race leaders, but they managed to get away with it. And once again, the status quo is maintained.
Just for now, it is. Behind them, though, things are still heating up. You've got Cox, McRitchie, Hobbs at the moment, and McRitchie's got himself to the front of this group. Cox back into 5th place. Hobbs still sitting in the back there. Jones has had a technical issue. I believe he's had a crash for Anthony Jones there in the 11. It was indeed. We'll try and get you a replay of what happened there, but the same as it has been for everybody else. He just lost the back end coming around the corner. The car goes in and bang into the Armco barrier. Nothing much he can do there, but he keeps the track off the racing line and gets it off the track, of course, and stops it bouncing back, which is a responsible thing to do. It's not ideal for your race, but he did the right thing there, of course. And McRitchie, 5th place at the moment. Actually, no, 4th place past Matt Cox. Doing what he can to hold on here to the first non-podium position in the race. Tom Ward, Bill Fraser, Simon Edwards. We aren't going to know what's going to happen here, Linus, until these guys come onto the front straight for the final time. This is going to be one of those races as Cox has pushed wide yet again and dropped another spot there to Jack Hobbs.
Yeah, he pushed a little bit wide and Hobbs just went under him and took over 5th place, and that's going to let McRitchie pull away slightly, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get out of the draft. And with all these guys falling out of the race from this group, that has promoted Fahim Antonides now up into 9th place without really having to pass anyone from his 16th starting spot, so he's not going to be too far out of the championship hunt after this race, even though he had a really poor qualifying.
It certainly is, and while this will help him salvage some points, of course, Tom Ward not on the board because he hasn't actually scored. Wow, I'm a rapper apparently now, as Tom Ward's first round this season means he's not going to really challenge the likes of Antonides here. So Antonides looking fairly strong. In fact, Bill Fraser will indeed, the Simon Edwards, the only one that could potentially get involved on points, but this should still be very much for Antonides' championship at the moment, because he's looking very, very strong, and what a big one that would be for himself, of course. And Thrustmaster Bavano as a challenge now by Bill Fraser on Tom Ward, looking at him as they come up the climb, heading into the final third here at the lap, Linus, and they're all sliding around.
Yeah, Bill Fraser is looking everywhere on Tom Ward, but I don't know if he wants to get past him, because as we saw last time, he kind of chose to stay behind him. I don't know if he wants to be in the lead or not though, but it looks like he wants to pass, but then when he gets there he just backs out. It's to go through the carousel for the last time in this race, and Edwards has dropped back slightly again, but one move from Fraser and he'll be right back up there, so Ward still in the lead.
Fraser staying competitive, I think we'd say, Connery, in the moment. He's staying in a comfortable second, waiting to take this opportunity off Tom. And I think with the winds we're having, perhaps that second pass is not going to happen on the front straight here. Perhaps the winds being so high at the moment, that's really impeding that. That headwind is meaning they get one chance at a pass if they're lucky. And that's about it, because right now the winds are 15 miles an hour. That's big.
Yeah, it'll negate the effect of, well, not negate the effect of the slipstream, it'll negate the overspeed that you have once you pull out to try to pass. It'll slow you down much, much quicker than if the winds were still. As both of your P1, P2 runners just went off the racing circuit into the grass. Tom Ward and Bill Fraser. I don't know if that was just due to the pressure, but one thing it does show is that these guys are pushing 110% for this race win, and wow, this one's going to finish in just a couple of moments time, and the big grandstand finish will be coming down that back straight. What could Bill Fraser and Tom Ward do, and what can the wild card of Simon Edwards do with the double toe?
Absolutely. What we're looking at in terms of lap times, these guys haven't gone over 8 minutes so far in this race. let that sink in, guys, because right now, in terms of qualifying positions, 8 minutes was basically P5 in terms of qualifying. So these guys haven't gone slower than P5 qualifying times for the entire race lap. That is incredible from these guys at the moment in terms of their advantage and performance. As Fraser pushing now, but he's looking like he's going to make a move. Tom Ward lets him have it. Why are you going for that, Bill? It could be that Bill knows it's actually really hard to pass down the front straight. Maybe he's taking a risk here to be leading. Maybe Tom Ward thinks he can do what Bill couldn't. This could be very, very interesting to really see what will come of this through the carousel too. It'll be super exciting to find out exactly how this works. Bill could have made the move of the race there. Tom could have made the move of the race. We're all going to find out in a couple of corners' time.
Yeah, and actually Tom Ward dropping back a little bit to give himself a better run and more time in the slipstream over Bill Fraser. So that is a pretty good idea. And there we go. Bill Fraser's already trying to break the draft, weaving back and forth, trying to break it. And Simon Edwards getting the double toe as well. So Simon Edwards could potentially, if he can get both these passes done, he could potentially be the winner. Here we go. I think we're going to see 3 wide, Rachel.
We are going to see 3 wide here. Final lap. 3 wide. And they make it happen once again. Automatically on the attack. Bill Fraser goes back to get the draft here on Ward. Can he get back? Edwards into the lead now. Ward to the outside. Here comes Bill Fraser. Looking to find a way through. Goes for the middle. Can Bill Fraser use this slingshot to push himself through the middle? He does! Wow. Exactly that! Bill Fraser through the middle of Ward and Edwards there. From the lead to third, to the lead again. Bill Fraser has the line. Bill Fraser, 2-3 corners to go. Bill Fraser will have this one after a genius comeback there. Leading was exactly the right place to be for Bill Fraser as he comes to the final corner, and the young Scotsman will take the victory here at round number 3 of Monday Night Skippys at the Nurburgring with a pass up the middle between 3 wide, Tom Ward and Simon Edwards. That is racing, ladies and gentlemen. It's just behind them. James McRitchie secures 4th place there, the Nurburgring Master, the man known as McRitch T. Jack Hobbs in the 5th spot and Cox back in 6th after his slide.
Rachel,
what a finish, guys.
Fahim Antoniadis has crashed on the final lap just before the straightaway. And that's going to open up the championship a ton.
That is absolutely huge there. Going to be no finish. DNF for Fahim Antoniadis after what was going to be a top 10 result and some salvage points. Antoniadis will crash out of the race there. Unfortunate for him. Final drivers coming across the line here. We've got a couple of them still coming up in terms of what they have for lap times. Robert Plumley, not been a great race for him. He's back in 20th, though he started in 37th. Turns out the Nürburgring may not well be Plummer's favourite racetrack. Not a bad innings regardless. 32 drivers out of 42 finishing on the lead lap there, which is less impressive than other race circuits where the lead lap is something that's actually harder to achieve. But Bill Fraser at the moment, what a victory from him. That was a phenomenal finish there, Linus.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew what he was doing, but to be leading coming onto the straightaway, dropping back to 3rd and then just squeezing it up the middle to get back in the lead again and manage to clear them before the turns, that was just phenomenal and a very, very brave move. It was really close to ending disaster for all of them as they were like inches away from touching the wheels, but they all survived and that was an amazing finish. As we still got racing going on here, that's Christopher Keeble and Ian Bassett coming side by side down the straightaway.
It is. Who will take it right now? Because Bassey has the inside line. This will be for 25th place. Could Bassey hold on? Only a couple more corners to go as he holds the inside there over Keeble. A bit of a touch as they come through the final section. Up the inside goes Keeble. Will he hold it? No, he won't. Bassey, one more corner to go. Runs wide. Keeble will take the position as Bassey through the grassy.
Bassey
has no opportunity. Bassey keeps it, but does he hold the spot? He did. Oh, wow. That was the 22nd there, so just about held it by inches, I think, from where the finish line actually is in the racetrack, as we'll go through your post-race results. Bill Fraser with a victory here today at the Nürburgring. Tom Ward in 2nd place. Simon Edwards in 3rd. Super close race at the end from those guys. McRitchie in 4th. Jack Hobbs in 5th place. Matt Cox, 6th place. Stuart Dick in 7th. 8th place is Adrian Hendy with Ewan Patterson and Ryan Hewitt rounding out your top 10. Behind them is Anthony Catt, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, Tony Stack, Neil Dawkins. 15th place Simon Maltby with Darryl Taylor, Barry West, Robert Plumley, Richard Holborn, and Christopher Kelsey in 20th place. The results up on your screen. That was a phenomenal one, Connery. The Nurburgring never disappoints.
It never does disappoint, and bringing things back to that final lap, though, we doubted Bill Fraser's move. We thought that can't possibly be the right decision going for the pass earlier on in the lap, but he proved us wrong, and now we basically gotta consider that Bill Fraser, he really does know what he's doing, because with the first championship we thought, oh, maybe it was just a one and done thing, and he got the second championship as well. We can't doubt him anymore. He has definitely changed since when we first saw him. We originally saw him as this very aggressive driver that's very reckless, but in recent seasons completely changed, and he's quite rightfully fighting for championships now.
It certainly was. Well, we're going to take a very quick break as we just cut our interviewers in for the post-race show here at RaceSpotTV. We'll be back in just a moment's time. Don't go away.
So, you want to race in NASCAR. The road starts here. Introducing the eNASCAR at Night Series powered by iRacing. This is the gateway for all aspiring 13 to 16-year-olds. Starting June 20th, ignite your dreams of one day racing in the top tiers of NASCAR. Go to www.iracing.com/ignite for full details.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Post-race coverage here from the Nurburgring Nordschleife. Well, Rachel Whitefoot had to dance off into the sunset just like a Porsche 919, but we have got a couple of people to interview. First one is Fahim Atanides, and he stood by with Linus Bodstrom.
Fahim coming in here, 2 wins out of 2 races, championship lead. Not that good of a qualifying, and what happened in the race?
Well, this is one of those tracks which I try and avoid like a plague. I never race on this track throughout the official week, and obviously I end up paying the price when it comes to Monday night Skippys. I just hate it when it's on the calendar. But I'm really here to say that I jump in for the interviews whether I win or have a bad result. So I didn't want to just hop in there every time I have a win or a good result. But I think I'm getting the hang of this track now, and probably next time it's on the schedule, I hope to be back to normal on this track. But I'm glad it's out the way, because now I can focus on performing on the next tracks to try and keep that championship lead. I hope Bill hasn't taken too much of a dent off that lead yet.
We appreciate that you show up even on a bad day and unfortunate event for you, but considering your two wins earlier in the season, you shouldn't be in too much danger just yet and can afford a bad result. So as long as you have good racing for the rest of the season, you should be alright.
Yeah, well, that's what drop weeks are for. Last season I took 2 drop weeks because I was away. I don't know what position I finished here, but this is probably going to be hopefully one of my worst results, but it still counts for some points instead of no points. So let's see how it all unfolds next week.
Yeah, well, we'll see you next week, and good luck with that, and thank you for joining us.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That was Fahim Atanides. We've got Barry West here as well, finishing P number 17. Goodbye with Connery Maddock.
Yeah, P number 17 after starting P number 28. So that is a fantastic drive for you there, Barry. And, well, you had a very, very good view of that first wreck coming through one of the SS sections at the start of the lap. How did you avoid that?
Well, I didn't, to be honest. I just watched it. There's, I think, 3 cars got together. Ben Daniels is up in the air. I take to the grass and I couldn't slow down. And fortunately, I caught the barrier side on. The front wheel touched first. I just watched the replay, and the front track has been reduced by the width of a tyre, but it was still parallel, so I could actually still drive in a straight line, believe it or not. But lost a lot of top speed. and then it was just a matter of trying to keep it on the track for the rest of the race, which I managed to do. It's just strange, really, because last time I was on this track was in real life. I drove around in May, one of the bucket list tracks to drive, and yeah, so I just made sure I didn't come off, really, and it paid off.
Yeah, it must have been an absolutely fantastic experience, and it's something that I want to do as well, but we might be waiting a little bit longer for me to be able to do that. But in terms of the racing individual world that we have here, after you got that damage, were there any other concerns for you out there on the racing circuit in terms of the people you were racing with? Do you think with that damage that you couldn't really fight with anyone and you were just running it safe, or were you still going for those moves?
Well, I was still trying to go as fast as I could, but there was somebody was getting close behind, and then I was quite alone on the track. Robert Plumley was 20 seconds behind towards the last lap, and he was gaining on me. He was, I think he was about 13 at the line, but I knew he wouldn't catch me. And then Darrell Taylor, teammate, was 2 in front. I think he had an accident. And then somebody in between us came off, and then I passed Fahim on the last lap. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know how that happened, but yeah, take anything. People want to give places away by driving off the track. I'll take it. But yeah, it was interesting race because I only had 1 lap. I got 1 lap in practice, and yeah, I was quite pleased to just get a lap in when I only had 1 chance. So yeah, pleased.
Yeah, it's a great result when all things considered, and it's lucky you said those things about Fahim when he was not in the broadcast booth. Otherwise, I don't know what he would have done. But another question as well: where is Mr. Thurston?
I believe he's stuck on the train somewhere. Probably some privatised railway somewhere. Yeah, because he loves this track. I know he does well here usually.
Yeah, he does, and well, I know all about the troubles with transport and things like that, so I completely sympathise with that position. But anyone you want to thank before we let you go, Baz?
No, I just like that Darrell for showing me a little tip beginning with brake wires at the beginning, which helped keep the car really stable. But yeah, and you guys for doing such a good job. Yeah, it was. Perhaps Paul will be back next week and we can get some more points, but at least we both got in the top 20, which is good.
All right, thank you very much, Barry. Back to you, Will.
Yeah, and that is all we have got time for here tonight on Monday Night Skippies. Well, that was the weather. Don't need to see that anymore. I want to give a shout out Istvan Balau, TrackCams22.com, Andy Warner and One Design, Simon Grossman, Aptioneering.com, Nick Bisson, RaceSpotTV, live timing and scoring, and of course, Monday Night Skippies is in support of the Campaign Against Living Miserably, the Calm Zone. Check it out online. A male mental health charity doing fantastic work. From Rachel Whiteford, Connie Maddock, and Linus Brunstrom, I am Will Vincent. Good night from the Nordschleifer.